Hello, and welcome back to this episode of The Today Show. I'm your host, Timmy Fellon, and today we have a very special guest to join us on the show. Please welcome former President Nixon.
How are you, Timmy?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure.
Hope I didn't impart on your activities for coming on.
No, I don't have anything to do anyway.
All right, so viewers have sent in a few questions that they want answered, so I'm going to, list off a few and you can answer whatever you want. So, Mr. Nixon, first off, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding your inauguration. After entering, you wanted to withdraw from the Vietnam War. Can you tell me a little bit about what your thoughts were there?
Yes, so as I came into the presidency, I wanted no further bloodshed from the American war. I didn't want American troops dying. So I decided to pull them out. I just didn't want anyone else dying. I wanted to end the war, but peacefully, without any real fighting. I just wanted to end the war peacefully with diplomacy with the North Vietnamese.
Those are some very noble reasons.
Well, thank you.
I think it's good to put the needs of the troops before the needs of other nations, first of all, because we are American citizens and we should look out for ourselves. All right, moving on to the next question. What exactly happened in Cambodia? Tell me about it.
Well, we got reports that the North Vietnamese were setting up bases and camps in Cambodia, and we wanted to stop it. So I sent some troops into Cambodia. People did not respond well to this. There are a lot of angry protesters, especially at Kent State University.
Sure.
And 2 months later, we had to pull them out. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that happens.
Sounds like it didn't go too well. All right,
No,
moving
it
on.
did not.
I heard you took a short trip during the year to China and Russia. What did you do when you were there? Did you go and see the sights, walk along the Great Wall of China? How was it?
Yeah, well, I went to Beijing. That was great. I visited the Great Wall of China. I took some pictures. I'm sorry I don't have them with me today.
Yeah, I would love to see them.
Yes, I went to the Chinese first. So as you know, the Soviet Union and the Chinese are two of the world's leading communist nations, and I visited them because they were at the time quelling over Marxism. And I thought if I could go into the Soviet Union and China, I could try to get them on our side, to get the North Vietnamese to look for peace. That's why I went, and it worked.
It worked well?
Yes. Also, out of this were the ABM treaties and the SALT treaty. ABM was the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty, and the SALT treaty was the Strategic Arms Limitation Talks.
Okay, well, thank you for that very detailed answer.
Oh, no problem.
Appreciate it. Moving on. A lot has happened on the Supreme Bench during the time with Chief Justice Earl Warren. There was a lot of drama regarding
Yes.
that person.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, well, Chief Justice Earl Warren, he led the Supreme Court into decisions that would change the sexual freedom, the rights of criminals, the practice of religion, civil rights, and the structure of political representation. There are many court cases like Griswold versus Connecticut, Gideon versus Wainwright, New York Times versus Sullivan, and also Engel versus Vitale. And I saw appointees who would strictly interpret the Constitution. And with Earl Warren, I had to replace him with Warren E. Burger. He thought that he would help undo rulings of the Warren Court, but he ended up making things worse, and this led to Roe versus Wade, which legalized abortion.
Man, this sounds like a lot of family bickering.
Yeah.
Okay, so regarding your strict interpretation of the Constitution, I think that bleeds a little bit into the many welfare programs you implemented. Want to say a little bit about that?
Yes, I took very serious the welfare programs I put into place. I approved increased appropriations for entitlements like food stamps, Medicaid, aid to families with dependent children. I also had a generous new program called the Supplemental Security Income to assist the indigent, aged, blind, and disabled. I also signed legislation in 1972 guaranteeing automatic Social Security cost of living increases to protect the elderly against the ravages of inflation. When prices rose more than 3% in any given year. I also, in 1969, implemented the Philadelphia Plan. It required construction trade unions to establish goals and timetables for the hiring of black apprentices.
Wow.
Yeah,
If only we had some of these programs around during the time of the Great Depression.
I know, that would have greatly helped.
Would have been a little bit smaller. All right, moving on again. Tell me a little bit about what happened with the Arabian nations and the energy crisis there.
Yes, so at the time, the Syrians and Egyptians were attacking the Israelis, and we thought they were going to spread communism to Israel. They're one of our allies at this point, and we sent $2 billion of war materials to Israel to help them out. In response, the Arabian nations put a blockade on oil for us, and this turned into a huge catastrophe. It was the end of cheap and abundant energy. The huge oil bills just halted our trade. It was very terrible what happened.
It does sound like a very large tragedy.
Yeah.
Taking a short break from the questions, I would like to say you do look very sharp tonight, Mr.
thank
Former
you.
President. But you know what would compliment your look a little bit?
What's that, Timmy?
It's a pair of Ray-Bans.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
that.
no, it's for you. Everybody in the
Thank you.
studio pitched it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to pay them a visit later and say thank you.
Of course.
Wow. Huh? These things are dashing. Oh, no, stop.
Next, on to the next question.
Of course.
Well, you have done a lot of good things for the country within your presidency. You implemented a lot of nice welfare programs. You did some good things as vice president. But a lot of that is just really, put on a bad note because of your departure at Watergate.
Yeah.
Can you tell me exactly what was going through your mind when all that went down?
I guess the truth is all out at this point. So, back in 72, I sent 5 Republicans to spy on a Democratic meeting, and they planted electric bugs. And then I refused to give Congress the tapes. I attempted to make a cover-up for it, and I was forced to resign 2 years later in 1974. But it was a good presidency while it lasted, I guess you'd say.
I guess that's what happened when you play with fire.
Yeah, I want to know. I did everything for the good of this great nation and for the people. Like removing the troops from Vietnam, I did not want any further bloodshed. I just wanted a peaceful end to this war, and I wanted this nation to be prosperous again.
All right, well, first of all, thank you for coming on the show, and we are going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Now we have a special segment for all of you. We have impersonations of famous movie actors with none other than former President Richard Nixon. All right, we're going to start the timer. Ready?
Yeah.
Set, go. Bill Murray from Caddyshack.
Good. 40 yards, you got a 9-9 here. Oh, you got a hold of that. You got a hold of that. Oh, it's in the hall. It's in the hall.
Tom Hanks from Forrest Gump.
Stop, but you never know what you're going to
James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause.
You're tearing me apart. He does one thing, she's another else with his back again.
Marlon Brando, Godfather.
I want to make him an offer. You can't refuse.
De Niro in Taxi Driver.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That's time.
You must be talking to me.
And that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Today Show. I'm Timmy Fallon. This is former President Richard Nixon.
Goodbye, everyone.